Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe.
Hey everyone, Kenny Tony coming at you today. We got a quick video for you. So we're going to get the YFZ on and rolling. We're going to just get some footage coming out there of what we got to do next, right? So here's the big thing with the YFZ 450. We've been making progress after progress after progress, but the biggest thing that was holding us up from getting this thing moved is I needed the motor and everything stationary, and I needed to be a roller so I can get my measurements to be sent off to get a custom sprocket made. And we've gotten that done. So we got the sprocket made and everything. So here is the stock sprocket that came off the WR450. It's right here. And this is the sprocket right here that was made for me. Not much of a difference, 15 tooth. Bow, bow, offset. So basically what I'm going to do is tell you how it happened. I really don't even understand it too much. I'm really good at geometry and numbers and things like that. So if I've seen it once and just figured out how he got the calculations or how he did it, I'll be able to understand it a little bit better. But I didn't. So basically, this side sits up against the motor. Chain goes onto the front. Mine didn't line up being a hybrid. So this is two sprockets. This side sits up against the motor and it offsets it, and the sprocket goes out here, the chain rolls. And mine was so significant that Sean even made me some spacers off some rear measurements that I took to offset my rear sprocket over a little bit. So what we have is the rear sprocket sitting here like this, and then the front. So with the offset, what we did was slide this one over and then also slide the back one over a little bit too. So the chain is going to be perfectly straight. I'm excited to get this on here and get this rolling. I am going to powder coat it. But for right now, I did just test fit it on to make sure it fit, and I'm going to go through the rest of it with you all. So I'm going to show you exactly how I got my measurements. So here we are down here in the bottom, and this sprocket goes on and sits on there flush, and as you see, it does not line up at all. So I put my nut on to hold it semi-straight to where it needs to be. Then I took my straight edge, which is just this piece of metal, and I clamped it onto my sprocket in the rear. Or we have the straight edge clamped onto the sprocket, and it's going straight there. And as you see up here, the sprocket is offset over to that side. So we're going to get some measurements. I measured before my shifter was on from back here to out to where that was. And I will show you the measurement that I got at that time. Then when I got the measurement there, Sean wanted me to measure my locking washer that goes on it here. And outside of that, that was about it. He then decided that it was going to be a lot of offset on the one side, so we went back to the rear again. And we made little spacers, or he made little spacers that would offset my sprocket enough that this wouldn't need fouled, and it will push this over really close but not rub. So we're going to get all this installed and see how the measurements went.
Check it out, man. Here's what I got going for you. That's two different sprockets here that I cut apart. So the way this works, so that'll be your engine side. So that'll just have to get welded up now.
Of course, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this powder coated. So let's go ahead and get the oven preheated to 400. And this has already been blasted. I'm going to put it in there and let it get up to about 200. Take it out and then hit it with some flat black and put it on there. I think it's going to look amazing. So I put a washer on here to cover up those teeth because the tolerance is so small that I'm concerned that if I powder it, I have an extremely hard time getting that on there. So come here. So these are the 4 spacers that I've gotten, and I have plenty of thread left on this side, so we're going to back out one of these at a time. So we have these out, but we're just going to go ahead and get all of them. Spacer number 1. Not big, but this tolerance definitely is important. See if we can get to that right there. Look at that. You can't even. That's amazing fit. All right. Big shout out to Sean Moore. See if we can see that clearance. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about right there. So that puts it over enough that we have less of a drastic pull over to this side. Gives it a little bit more leverage. All right, with that part right there, I don't think I could have asked for a more precise fit. So that fit amazing. So right now what we're waiting on is the front sprocket to get done powder coating, 15-20 minutes. And we're gonna go ahead and just get this WR450 chain cleaned up. So we're just gonna hit it with some heavy duty degreaser. And the instructions say to wait for about 5 minutes. All right, let's go ahead and see if we can attempt to get this warm sprocket on there. It's a little warm than I want to use with my bare hands. see, teeth were never have any powder on them. So hopefully that's going to help us get it on there, because when I tried the first time it fit on there, but it was, you know, it took some persuasion. A little bit of tapping. A little extra. We're going to run it down. So it's on there. Alright. And the locking washer goes on too. It's going to be close tolerance. Yeah, I didn't think about that one. So it's on there now. No play, no movement. Looks perfect. And when you look at them from the back, they're going to line up really good. Alright, so here we are in the rear. Hoping the camera isn't picking up too much of this fan, but we have this freshly cleaned chain here that we're going to run up through there. See how it's going to line up for us. Here we are in the rear. We're going to go ahead and get this master link on, and then we will officially have a chain on this. So, O-ring on both sides. O-ring there. O-ring there. I'm going to roll it forward and get the side link on and the locking link. Chain on. Let's go ahead and get it adjusted, and it looks straight. Look at that, straight. No leaning, no twisting, no nothing. Perfect, Sean. This right here wouldn't be possible without you. All right, I'm gonna loosen these two bolts and slide that chain back. So I never tighten these up anyways. Good.